It all comes down to this: Australia versus Paraguay, win or draw, and we're through in second place to the round of 32. Lose, and we're relying on a wild card and a potential rematch with Germany from 2010 awaits. 90 minutes in California against a tough South American opponent. A massive game awaits. This is Red, White, and Roo. Harry, welcome to the Paraguay preview. We sit here, 3 points, even goal difference. We said in the USA reaction, we would have absolutely taken that heading into the last group game. How are you feeling heading into Paraguay?
Yeah, I'm feeling like we're the better team, but as we saw against with Paraguay against Turkey, they're not going to be pushovers, and we need to be our best, and what I would say is field our best side to give us a good chance to get through the knockouts.
I completely agree. I think we saw enough from Paraguay in that game that they're a South American opponent. A mate of mine was calling them the South American dark arts, the way they were wasting time in that game, and the goalkeeper rolling on the ground and all sorts of stuff. They are going to be a really tough opponent, and I think we've seen in every World Cup, all the South American teams, they do play the game a very passionate and aggressive way. And there is those footballing dark arts that we do see. One thing I think that is on our side with Paraguay is they did play that whole second half with 10 men. So there might be an extra fatigue factor there potentially. And also they're missing one of the players that I think most football fans that don't know that much about Paraguay football, they're missing Miguel Almiron, who plays for Newcastle United in the Premier League, which is a big loss. I know he doesn't necessarily have the best output, but he is still a big loss for Paraguay.
Yeah. You'd think he's probably their second best player after Enciso.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Which Enciso's kind of been underwhelming, I think. He's clearly not 100% fit.
Yeah, but I think you see it so much with like the smaller nations. When you got one big player, they either do everything or do nothing. So
yeah, I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. And he's someone where you give him, if he can find a nice bit of space. We spoke about it in previous episodes where he has essentially had to play a little bit more of a deeper role for Paraguay than he normally would, just with the way that their team makeup is. I mean, the thing here is that obviously Paraguay score in the first minute. Galaza scores in the second minute. Almiron gets red carded for the talking over, talking to an opponent with his hand over his mouth, and they hold on for a full second half and keep a clean sheet. It was remarkable. I'm sure that left a mark. I don't necessarily. They'll be up for it 100%. Don't know how much of an impact that makes, but it's always hard to judge a team when they've played a half with just 10.
Yeah. It will be good to see a game where what I would say is we'll control it a bit more than we have the others.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit more even in that possession battle, I think.
Yeah, we're not going to see the big 60-40, even 60-40 is not that big. We're not going to see the big 70-30s that we've seen in Socceroos probably like last 4 games. So it will be good to see a different sort of makeup, and we'll probably see a different team selection that shows that. And a big one for that is I'd like to see like a few better ball users start against Paraguay. Really like kind of put our best foot forward, because you think of a Volpato. He can come on and make an impact against Paraguay. He can't come on and make an impact or have any impact against like the US. So I'd like to see like my front three is probably it's probably most of the Australians fans' front three that they want. But I want to see a Volpato, Toure, and Irankunda. Or maybe Volpato, Toure, and Metcalf, if that's possible. Which it's tough to get Metcalf and Volpato, but I think I want to see a bit more quality from the start and like keeping possession and being on the front foot.
Yeah, I agree. I think we spoke about it in the US reaction, but the more I think about Metcalf and Volpato on the pitch at the same time, I think the only way under our current shape it works is if Metcalf plays as a centre mid, which he's capable of, and then Volpato sits on that right hand side. Whether they're willing to do that, I don't know. I don't necessarily think. I know they've had quite a large training camp, but Volpato wasn't part of that until we were at the couple of days before the Mexico friendly, so he hasn't really had that much time in camp, and they would be in full preparing for a match, training in a certain way, practicing certain shape. I've no doubt they've tried a few different things, but there just hasn't been that same level of volume. Which it's a nice problem to have, though. We're talking about Connor Metcalf, who scored one of the, again, it was a super iconic goal. It'll go down in history. A screamer from outside the box, and was really good against Turkey. And then we're talking about another player in an attacking position, Cristian Volpato. He was excellent when he came on. Harry, it's a nice problem to have. Honestly, it is a really nice problem to have. They are both players of really high quality, and I think whoever starts will do a lot better than what we saw the starting lineup against the US do.
Yeah, it's a nice problem to have as long as the problem is utilised. If you can't pick between them, I wouldn't pick none of them. I'd pick one of them.
Yeah.
I
hope we don't see a Bill starting when we see the team sheet on Friday. Harry, there's been a little bit of Mark Schwarzer spoke today, it was saying that he would actually go for a Matt Ryan in goal for this game. Do you think there's any chance that he will see Matt Ryan in between the sticks for this game?
I mean, unless they want to make him appearing at a heap of World Cups, but I think you've gone with Patrick Beach and he's been good. I don't really see why you drop him. The only reason I'd think to drop him is if we get here and we're on 6 points and have already topped the group, and you just want to give Matt Ryan a bit of a farewell. But I don't see what we gain from having Matt Ryan in goal that we wouldn't have gained from our first two.
Yeah, Schwartz's point was experience. It's a big game. There's a decent amount on the line for the Socceroos. Second place will give us a real red hot go at winning our first ever knockout game. I'm not saying we can't beat Germany, but it's a lot more unlikely than beating Belgium in their current state, and also then Iran or New Zealand or Egypt, depending how all those results go. I think maybe they're potentially looking at maybe there's an argument about more experience. I think he'll go with Patrick Beach personally, but it would be, again, Popovic, not immune to a big selection call, but that is something that is interesting to see. One of the Socceroos' greatest goalkeepers going with Matt Ryan.
Yeah, see, I just don't understand that, because what is he saying, that USA and Turkey aren't big games? Every game at the World Cup's a big game. Every game feels must win. Every game you want to put your best side out there.
Yeah.
I see what he's trying to say, but I feel like if that was in play, he would have started.
I think Beach has passed his test. I think he's passed it with flying colours. I think he's been excellent. He was good again against the USA. None of those goals for going in were his fault. He didn't have any distribution errors. He was really solid. He hasn't done anything, I think, that would mean that he would lose his place. I just think maybe Schwarzer was going and presenting a different angle. Now, Harry, while we're on the topic of our starting 11, there is some interesting points here to be made. Ciccardi, Suter, Italiano, and Jordi Boss, 4 of our back 5 are currently on yellows. Does that play a factor in the team selection? So the only player that is not on a yellow, who is in our back 5 we've seen in the first 2 games at the World Cup, is Cameron Burgess, who got subbed at half-time. Now, this is an interesting proposition because we are coming up against the dark arts of a South American team in Paraguay. And is Lucas Harrington ready for that baptism of fire? And does Popovic go with a bit more of a conservative lineup, knowing that I think we're a 95% chance to play a round of 32 game?
Yeah, I think what you probably look at is it's really hard because you want to get there, but you want to be able to. If we get there, we can have a real crack at it. If we um come second, I'd back us to beat New Zealand, Egypt, or Iran with kind of not our best team. You've got to get there. I wouldn't hate to see maybe a Geordie Boss subbed off in the 70th minute for Aziz Baich, or even Aziz Baich started, and then you bring Geordie Boss on at 70 minutes for a bit of point of difference. I think we will see Harrington play. I just don't think you can have two of your centre backs on a yellow. I think we might see a bit of a resting of. No, Harry Sudar's been so good though.
I don't think it'd be Sutar or Ciccardi, but I can definitely see Italiano and Boss potentially not start. I know the George Boss one's an interesting call, but I could definitely see maybe Guerrier or a Kai Truan start considering how good Guerrier was when he came on in that right-sided centre-back role.
Yeah. I think definitely we could see Guerrier. He's been good. I wouldn't. It's definitely something to ponder over. I would like to see. Oh, we can't play those four. I think we have to lose at least one or two in this starting 11.
I think Italiano is the one that I think we'll miss. He may come on. I don't know. Again, it's so hard with the substitutions because you're trying to predict how the game's going to run. Like if we're chasing the game against Turkey, we're probably talking about Cristian Volpato. He's already come on. He's already played. But he wasn't needed. It wasn't a substitution that was required. And they ended up going with Volpato for that little bit of extra pressing option, which was fine. So it's going to be interesting. I think that's probably the big talking point that maybe isn't necessarily being spoken about as much as it should, is that yellow card situation because of the ramifications. It's not like a situation where if we lose this game, we're out under the 32 match format. It's literally like there is repercussions in the next round for guys potentially missing games. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do with that. Time will tell. I would love to see Harrington get a game at this World Cup. I think it'd be great. I have no doubt that if he is called upon for this game, he will step in and really deliver. I think the last touching point, Harry, in regards to the starting 11 is what would you do with the central midfield? Are you going with Ocon, Engstler, and Aidan O'Neill, or are you making a change?
Those two have both been good. It wouldn't surprise me if we see an Irvine, but I think we'll only see one of those miss. We won't see a big shake-up.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think they really like the two of them in midfield. They've both been pretty good. I feel like the first half, they were a little bit isolated with how the US, not only with how Tyler Adams and Weston McKennie played, but also with the way the selection of putting Matt Leckie on the right. It meant that it was so hard for them to get the ball back in, and whenever they were so crowded. I don't think there's really any doubt on what they do there unless someone's under an injury cloud. And I think the rest of the team looks after itself. I mean, you've got to start Irankunda in this game, and then it's a line ball between Volpato or Metcalf. And then I really hope in this game and in the round of 32 game, if we get there, I really hope we get to see Mohamed Toure playing more of his game because he has had a really tough time of it the last two games. I don't think there's any chance that anything's possible with Popper, but I can't see Yangi starting personally.
Look, I can see Yangi starting just because I can see anything now. But I think this game is the one that suits Toure the most because we should have the ball in a more even amount than Paraguay will.
Yeah.
We're not going to see the massive, we just can't see the massive change. We can't let Paraguay dominate us on the ball. They're Paraguay. We need to have our time with the ball building up slowly.
Yeah, and I mean, Paraguay are no slugs. I mean, I know that they lost 4-1 to the US, but they are they're very well drilled and they're a well coached team. And like any South American team, they are always up for it. In the last two encounters, Harry, I don't know if this means for anything. We beat them 1-0 in 2010 and we drew with them 1-1 in 2006. So I don't know if that means anything, but that's the situation. I'll go through a few things now on Paraguay that I think are worth touching on. We spoke about at the start. Almiron, he got a straight red. He will miss this game. He is suspended. Galaza, he's on a yellow, so he scored their first goal. He's on a yellow, so the goal for him will be to get under his skin and potentially get another yellow. So he has to play a little bit tentative. And then there's obviously our yellow card situation as well. We touched on Julio Enciso. He's the one really to worry about from Strasbourg. People will know him from his time with Brighton. He'll play in behind the striker. He's got great movement, great dribbling. He scored an absolute worldie for Brighton that people will remember. He has got immense
against
quality.
City on the final day.
Yep, he's got immense quality. He's the one that is going to cause the most damage. And then alongside him, you've got Diego Gomez on the right. He'll work in with the channel. He'll create a little bit of width. But again, it's a different caliber and a different type of challenge to what we've seen against Turkey and the USA. They are classic. Like, they have some outrageously talented players. They play a bit of a different system. They're a bit more, I guess you'd say, forward thinking and a bit more expansive. This Paraguay team is a little bit more similar to us in the way that they're a little bit more disciplined, and they're okay not having the ball. So it's going to be an interesting situation of two teams that don't necessarily love having the ball and how that plays out. Who's going to take control? Will it be more of that 50-50, 60-40? They're probably the main points, I would say, when it comes to Paraguay.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a different. It's going to be a different sort of watching, because we're going into it going like, it wouldn't surprise me if we sit back and let Paraguay attack, but it's one where it's like, it's not what I want us to do, but anything's really up in the air.
I mean, you don't mind doing it, but as long as it's in stages, as long as it's through stages and they're going, right, we're going to get through this little tough period. They're having the rub of it. We got to get through this, hit them on the break, then work our way in and control the game like we did against Turkey. Paraguay I thought against Turkey, they were a bit tough from set pieces. So that's going to be another one where I feel like we're well set up to defend set pieces. We've got big, tall guys at the back that are strong and dominant. But I think also, like, it really is quite similar styles. Like, Paraguay are going to try and counter, and it's going to be, again, like we touched on before, it's going to be an interesting balance to see how do we manage our defensive line. Do we push up? Do they push up? Do we sit back a little bit, I guess less than we have been, to stop them being able to get in behind? It's honestly, Harry, going to be an incredibly fascinating contest.
Yeah, it's going to be quite interesting to watch. I'll be looking forward to seeing it.
Oh, mate, absolutely. I think the big one here, like we've touched on, I think with Almiron out as well, that's another massive creative threat for them that they now don't have, which places it forces them into being a little bit more one-dimensional than they have been. I think a lot more is probably going to have to go through and see. So, and that's not to say that Diego Gomez or whoever comes in cannot also create, but it's just not on the same level as Miguel Almiron. So that's going to be very, very interesting. Harry, what do you want to see from the Socceroos in this game? What are you going to be keeping a keen eye for? For this game to go our way, what do you think we have to do well?
Well, I want to see Mohamed Toure really get into his work, because we've hyped him up throughout this whole series, and I just don't think the public's seen it yet. Like, you can hear some of the casuals calling for his head, but like, no, this guy is good. This is the team we can see it against, because we will dominate. We should. No, I don't think we'll dominate, but we are going to have more ball and more build-up chances than we have. And probably a bit more of a midfield win. Like, a bit more dominance through the midfield, something we haven't seen in either of our first two games, especially not against the US. Just like a bit of, like, honestly, our midfield beat their midfield.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree. And I think I want to see us really hit the ground running in the first 20 minutes. Again, Paraguay, they played a full half down to 10 men. We are incredibly fit. We've spoken about it on this podcast where we said we had the longest build-up out of any nation for this World Cup. we are a very, very, very fit side. And this is where you can really put your foot down and stretch teams and go, we're going to be at you the entire time and we're going to run you ragged. And you guys have come off. You also realize it is a little bit of a shorter break from their last games. You go, we're going to push you and we're going to make you work for it. I know that's a given, but even more so this time. Again, we've said it going into every game. We said it after the Mexico game. We just want them to start well, hit the ground running, work into the game, get off to a fast start, and then let the game settle into the game and let it look after itself.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
So, Harry, are you willing to do a score prediction?
Yeah, I'm gonna go 1-1.
1-1. Could you? Who will be your goal scorer?
Oh, Volpato and Enciso.
I would be so passionate. I'm going to go 2-1 Australia. I'm going to say there's going to be a Harry Sutar header. And I'm going to go with a Mohamed Toure goal. That's what I'm going to go with.
That. I really like that.
I would love to see Mohamed Toure score at a World Cup. He deserves it. Like I've seen similar commentary online of like this guy has come from Norwich and he's hit the ground running, and we just haven't people saying, oh, I expected more from him. And it's kind of like, yeah, but he's not. This just hasn't been set up for him to succeed. Like I'd love to know across all the games, like how many times has he actually had the ball, but also how many touches has he had in our box?
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be very little. It'd be very little, I think.
He gets one touch in that Turkey game off that corner, and we're saying he's had a good World Cup.
Yeah, I agree, Harry. Now, I will be at Southbank to watch this game. Harry, unfortunately, has his school athletics carnival. So we will be getting the reaction podcast out to you as soon as we can. It'll probably be a little bit later than normal. So please keep an eye on that. Now, Harry, one of the big things, we spoke about it on our other podcast, the Talk of the Town podcast with our brother Angus. Go and check that out. We urged schools to encourage them to put the game on, the workplaces, put the game on, celebrate it. Victoria Education has come out today and has encouraged and urged schools to set up watch parties at school.
That's
good. That's
so good. They love our nation.
Passion. They're getting behind the nation.
Hopefully, Queensland education needs to do the same. New South Wales education needs to do the same. Western Australia. We need everyone to get behind our Socceroos.
Get behind it. I totally agree. So we love to see that. I saw that from a tweet from ex-Socceroo and Borussia Dortmund goalkeeper Mitch Langerak. He was talking to his daughter's teachers at school, which I think is outstanding. I think more should follow suit. Again, we've spoken about it. It's extremely rare that you're going to get the opportunity to watch the Socceroos in a World Cup at school in a good time zone. So make sure we're all making the most of it. Harry, we're going to finish with the Roo Meter. We've beaten Turkey, lost to the USA. Now it's the decider. It all gets a lot clearer after this game. Are we going to play Germany? Are we going to play Belgium, Egypt, Iran, or New Zealand? Has your Roo Meter changed? We both said, I think, round of 16 in the last, before the USA preview. Has that changed for you?
Yeah, sadly, I think it'll be round of 32.
So you reckon that? So you've predicted us to draw, which means you then think we're going to lose in the round of 32. Who to?
Egypt.
I think they might top their group, though, so we might avoid them. It might be Belgium or Iran.
There's no... I just hope we don't get Belgium. That'd be just our luck to get Belgium.
And it would be just our luck that they would turn it on, too.
Surely we don't get Belgium. But anyway,
yeah
I think round of 32.
I'm going to still sit with round of 16. I'm going to still say that the Socceroos, Belgium thumped New Zealand in their last game. They get to the top of the group. Egypt lose to Iran, which means Belgium top their group. And I'm going to say that we then get a result that is more in our favour and we pull something out. But I'm choosing to be passionate, Harry. I'm not going to sit here and be doom and gloom. The time will come to be doom and gloom when we inevitably get knocked out. And hopefully it's not too doom and gloom. Hopefully it's encouraging signs and it's a bit like the Argentina game, but we will see. Harry, any parting words or any thing you want to pass on to the audience or to Socceroos fans or world football fans heading into this game or even the last round of group stage games in general?
Just get around our great nation. Watch it. Stream it illegally. Illegally stream it. Watch it when you're not meant to at school. Watch it when you're not meant to at work. Just watch it.
Go and make some memories. That's what I would say. You'll get a match reaction from us as soon as we can after the final whistle, win, lose, or draw, whatever happens in California. We will be here to cover it. You do not want to miss this. This will be an absolutely huge game for the Socceroos. We're in it up to our eyeballs. Get behind the nation. This has been Red, White, and Roo.